What's up, everybody? I wanted to make a video about all of my collection for 2023. It's been a pretty crazy year, and I figured that before I start with my collection, I'm going to talk about all the battle songs that I actually no longer have in my collection. Um, I guess before I start, follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna do a giveaway at 1,000 followers and subscribe to my channel. But let's get started. I'm gonna have to refer to this story reel, whoopsies, because I don't have these knives anymore. So I'm gonna talk about what I had and why I don't have it anymore. So bear with me as I deal with this format. But basically, I had a Series V3. I still have a Series V3, but I actually went through several. And this one was in mint condition, and I think I sold it for a profit. But I actually really like the Sirius. Let's see. Okay. The Mako and the Vault were my first two battle songs ever, and I don't have either of them anymore. I think they're both pretty solid for beginners, but the Mako suffers because it does not have a hardened blade, and so it actually bends. It's also washers only. And because of the bead blast and the lack of surface texture, it's very slippery. And so people are like, just beat it. And I'm like, okay. And then I eventually I just stopped flipping it because it was pinching me and there's just a lot of issues with it. And unfortunately, it is just competition wise completely priced out by other things. I ended up trading it. Um, the Vulp, I was trading for a Calico, but then it got lost in the mail. So the guy was like, "Oops, my bad. Here's the insurance money," and I was like, "Oh shit!" I ended up making an accidental profit. The Vulp is a battle song that I think has a lot of really good things going for it, but I also stopped flipping it because I just wasn't flipping it anymore. It wasn't doing it for me. The chaplains, even with the inserts, were just it just wasn't doing it for me. I am interested in trying a Vault Pro, and so hopefully I can borrow one from someone and also borrow a Vault and be able to do some side by side comparisons. But at least the Vault has a good look to it. It comes with a lot of great things. I think it's still very good for beginners. Has a bottle opener, which is really nice for having a trainer that has function, and really good jimping. So the Vault, mostly it's the chaplain. I think if they made a Vault version 2 that had better chaplains, I would maybe own one because the Vault Pro is reasonably priced, but it's definitely more than 65 bucks. The Crackerakin 2.5, I legitimately was not thinking I was ever going to get rid of until I was giving a trade offer with for a Gaboon with the ultralight that someone else owed me. The Crackerakin 2.5 is really nice. I really liked my ink blade. I got it for a really good deal. It had nice hardware. I got a handle swap. Originally it was a dark blue, and then I got a teal handle. And I hope to at some point get a maybe an inked 3.0, maybe. We'll see. Crack Dragon's great. I legitimately thought I was gonna have this forever, especially because it's like a gold standard and it was really easy to refer to. Prisma, I didn't like it. I didn't like the Prisma. I thought it was uncomfortable. I thought it was really weird. I didn't like the weight hotspot at the very end, but without the weights in it, it felt very blade heavy. It was just really chunky. So the Prisma V1, I'm just not particularly crazy about. I think the Prisma V2 and the Pro were much better. Speaking of which, the Prisma V2, I know it says Prisma Pro, but this is before the Prisma Pro was like officially the 7075 version, and so this is the 6061. The V2 is really good. I just had a Seraph, and so I just found myself when I flipped the Prisma V2, I was just like, I'd rather just flip the Seraph. I will say, if you can't afford a Seraph, the Prisma Pro, I assume, is similar enough to the V2 that it is actually a pretty solid budget version at like 160 something compared to the Seraph being like 700. So yeah, get a Prisma Pro trainer, perfectly fine Balisong, and much better balance. You can remove the end weights without it feeling too blade heavy. And yeah, I find that with no weights in the bottom, it feels great. I just had a Seraph. Let's see. Oh man, this hourglass, this Alpha Beast. I had never tried an Alpha Beast before, and I was starting to. This is the turning point of when I started to spend way too fucking much money, and I found that the Alpha Beast was way too uncomfortable to flip. Just the the grooves at the thumb point where the those three lines are, they were just not comfortable. The Hourglass blade had really awful blade rub, and unfortunately, the toxic ano job that I asked Blocks to do, Blocks has done much better toxic anos. It's just that the Alpha Beast would not cooperate. Um, but yeah, I ended up trading this plus cash for a Seraph V1. It I don't like the Alpha Beast. Maybe I'll try another one in the future. Speaking of which, this Seraph I actually only recently sold. To pay for my Saren, I have a Seraph V2 with a Diamondback laser engraving Marin blade. This Seraph actually has much better tolerances than my Saren does, so I'm gonna send my Saren in for a tuning to Machine Wise, which thankfully is covered by warranty. But this Seraph is absolutely wonderful. It is a V1, so it's not on the Marin platform. So I think, just strictly speaking, I was just like, I might as well just. The deal was so good. I hated the Orca G10 clone. Felt bad. Had horrible tolerances. Worst hardware I've ever seen. Someone said it was really gas. It was like $40. I would not recommend this. I There are other things that you can get for $40 that are just better. And then I traded this for a Karambit trainer and a lot of different lubes. So that was pretty good. Trade. Hypex was horrendously blade biased. The Hypex that you see here normally does not come in this sort of silver color. The person who had it before me beat it to shit. And then the person I got it from, um, like, sanded down everything to get rid of like the ano. The ano, there's still some purple ano in the interior of the channel, but it flipped like shit. It just was really bad and wasn't very interesting. It was just blade biased and not fun. Maybe the stock version is better. I don't know. Gyration. This was a discontinued battle song that I had because it was weird, and I this was actually the second trade ever from Jake's Ya Boys Mako to Madco. His first trade was a Mako to a KRT. No. I forgot. Oh, yeah, his first trade was a Mako to the Gyration V2, and then I traded a Kraken trainer. Yeah, a Kraken 2.5 trainer for this Gyration, which I don't regret at all. And then he ended up getting a Madco, which I'm happy for. And then everybody, I was like, oh, can I do it next? And everybody was like trying to do it. And I was like, oh, fuck it, this is not worth it. Gyration is interesting. It has really weird round handles that make me think of Halo. Um, but it was just an okay flipper. I think the blade is not that good. The blade I wish was more interesting. I think the G looks kind of gaudy. The handles were interesting. But then again, I found myself not flipping it anymore, and I traded for a Kanto Origin, which I very much love. Let's see, what's next? Oh yeah, the Peony, is a plastic battle song by NDK Arts. It is a gimmick. It does not flip very good. It flips better than you'd expect for something that can like I sold it to Dasuko, who literally tied it into a knot and then eventually got too silly with it and it broke. But yeah, more than that, it was just a fun showpiece to be like, oh, look at this silly thing. But it wasn't fun to flip. So I sold it. Squiddy A. Squiddies are not fun, but Squiddy A's are fine. That said, though, I sold it for a profit. I think it's like Squiddies are Squiddy A's are fine. The Belly Shark Mermaid was bizarre. It's not good, but it was interesting, and I got it for free as part of a bundle package. I then sold it for free as part of a bundle package. So that was part of a trade for something else. I was maybe thinking maybe I could do a Belly Shark Mermaid to Orca, but that never took off because everybody wanted to try and do a Mako to Madco copy. This was the KRT that I traded for the Gyration. Um, I don't even remember how I got the KRT, but I don't regret trading it for the Gyration. I just forgot to take a picture of it. It's the only battle song I forgot to take a picture of. Medusa V3 I got for a nice deal, and then I traded this for Hybel Valor, which I still have. The Medusa is a battle song that is too rectangular for my taste, too handlebars for my taste, and I find that the face surface is just not comfortable to hold because there's not really anywhere that your thumbs can rest because it's just all groove. And it's quite a deep groove, but I don't know. It just I wanted to like it. It's not a bad bow song. It's just not for me. Uh, I had two Bermudas, and this is the second Bermuda I got in a deal. Someone said that they wanted it, and then they backed out. Eventually, I did sell it. This I don't know if I regret selling this, but this is one of the times that I actually very much overtraded. This Rebola V2 and a Swordfish and something else I traded for the hype. No, no, not the Hypex. I traded it for the decode. And the decode was coming from Europe, and I had never heard of a decode before. It looked weird and rare and cool. I definitely overtraded. This was a really cool laser engraving pattern and Anno. The Rebola was a battle song that I thought was neat, but it didn't stand out to me much as a flipper. I very much like the blade. I think the G10 is fine. I think maybe in the future, if I were to get a Rebola blade on something else, I would potentially be interested in that. All in all, the Rebola is a very solid battle song. I don't regret trading it because I do enjoy having a decode, despite it being a very weird and awkward flipper. It's very unique. I could always get a Rebola V2 again if I wanted. Similarly, the Swordfish was a battle song that I got for really cheap, and I traded with the Rebola. The Swordfish is fine. Swordfish is fine. It didn't stick out to me. This series V2 I sold for a profit, and it was in great condition. And then I don't even remember what I got out of it, but Squiddy G, fun novel. I don't even have a picture of the whole thing. I only have a picture of the face. Whoopsies. The Squiddy G does not flip fun. It is got bad tolerances. It's lighter than a Squiddy A, and it just. I tried to do Squiddy A handles on Squiddy G. It's not fun. It's not that interesting. Once you get over the fact that it's a cute little face, it just lost its interest. This Nautilus V1, I traded or sold. I don't remember for what, but the handle slapped, and that drove me insane. I think this might have been a part of the same thing for the decode, but I'm not sure. The Nemesis V2. I heard that Ethan Blade Bias, Camaro EE, really liked his Nemesis V2. I was like, I gotta try one of these. And similar to the Medusa, the handles were too rectangular and handle bias and heavy. It wasn't really. It's a hefty battle song, so it just wasn't really my preferences. The face texture is fine. It would just I find that the rectangular you can't really see from this picture, but the width is much thinner than the face width, and so it just ladders would roll a lot, and I didn't find it very comfortable. Alas, as a discontinued battle song, I was like, the novelty is over. And now he made a V3. It doesn't have the face texture, but apparently the balance was better. Haven't tried one yet. Latchless Demon. This one I think I sold to someone. I don't remember. I have a spreadsheet that I talk about everything that I traded and what it was for. I could look at my spreadsheet, but essentially, the Demon is an Atropos knife with, like all Atropos knives, has very bad tolerances, and so I just didn't love it. It's heavy. It's like 5 ounces, and the channel for chaplains was like not the most comfortable. So I ended up parting ways with it. And what did I give the Demon for? I don't even remember, but I'm not upset about it. Sphinx Gale clone looks really cool. Got a good deal on it. It was much cheaper than the actual Gale. Someone said that it flips better than the Gale, but sounds worse. Someone even actually made, if you can't read this, someone milled in a Sphinx logo on this acid watch blade. Looked really nice. Honestly, just really unremarkable to me. It didn't stick out to me after having it for a little bit, and I was just like, I don't care. Okay, I actually only recently traded this Wolf Omen trader, and I have a complicated relationship with this bow song. Normally, the Omen comes with a live blade. Mine didn't. The person before me didn't have it either. Blocks did this great Anno. Someone made plastic 3D printed spacers, not zippy, but they were 3D printed spacers that made this very neutral, and it was actually pretty fun to flip. The titanium spacers were unbearably heavy, So I'm not crazy about that. I've never flipped a live blade, so maybe the titanium spacers with live blade feels better. Um, the tolerances on the Omen are dog shit. It's just a very, very, very thin space between the slabs, and was it just blade rubbed. And unfortunately, this is T6 hardware on the bottom of the handles, so they stripped like instantly, and then I couldn't swap. Ugh, there was so much frustration with it. So I only recently traded it because it's not exactly a hot ticket item, but it was a 2-for-1. Let's see. Block Squawk. These are Block V1 titanium rehandles for the Kraken on a Squid Trainer blade. And so it's a Squid Trainer Block Squawk Kraken kind of thing. It's a stupid name. This was actually really cool and fun. I did find that um, the Zen pin screws weren't always staying. So like that was one thing that if I did use Loctite, I was probably gonna Loctite. I think the color is really great. It was very fun and unique. It definitely felt different from a Kraken and a Squid Trainer because of the combination being weird. Um, Meanwhile, on my phone, I'm still trying to figure out what did I give the. My cat just sneezed really loudly. I was trying to figure out what did I give the demon for, and I literally just it was just for a Sirius V3. So yeah, I'm really happy with that because I love the Sirius. Um, I ended up selling this or trading this because it just stopped being something I was flipping, and so that was that, I guess. Really cool though, and the block tie handles are interesting. This series I immediately traded for. I think it was part of a 2-for-2 trade for a BM67 clone and a Channel Reaper V1 with a gorgeous stone texture on the blade and a beautiful toxic anno. It is still one of the prettiest knives I have. It's just a little bit more handle-wise than I like. Uh, yeah, but that mint condition Sirius I traded before I even received. But I have a Sirius again. This is a dual tone V3 Kraken, flipped really well. I compared it with the um I think I got a no, sorry, that was a V 2.5 Bowie that I was trying. V3 Kraken is much better than the V 2.5. It's very nutty, it's got good grip, and I was like, well, I already have a 2.5 and this I can get for a sick profit. So I sold it for a sick profit. The Serpent Striker is, I believe, on bearings. It's fine. It's kind of, it was kind of unremarkable for me. Um, it's like, it's fine. It's got a latch that was removed. It's fine. I tried the fork blade and fork blade felt bad. This was a channel aluminum clone-ish thing. Squiggles rep is titanium and sandwich. This is channel and aluminum. It looks pretty. It doesn't flip amazingly. And no, the blades don't work on replicants. This was a trainer that is sort of also a rep clone, also channel aluminum. I ended up selling this to a friend named Max who loved these and beat the shit out of them. Really inexpensive. They just weren't that good. Ms. Gumiho, MS Gumiho, I don't know. The Blaze is a Balisong that looks better than it performs. It has basically no blade weight. It has like this interesting ring to it. The handles are aluminum channel. They feel pretty decent. I was like, I'll take a gander at this, see if it's any good. Once again, stopped caring about it after a while. I sold it for a decent thing. I don't even remember what. The DEFCON XL. So a lot of these Balisongs I got from Den BMX because he was doing a sale, clearing out some of his collection. He got all these blades for free for review, and so I was like, fuck it, I want to check it out. And I did use the comb blade sometimes. I actually have a whole video reviewing all of the different blades and how they flip. And you have some fun chucks with it when you have no blade. But yeah, it's like fine. It's a decent flipper, but more than that, it's kind of a gimmick. And so I sold it. Let's see. What do we have? Oh, okay. So this is one of the battle songs that I wish I had more time with. I I don't know why. I think I ended up negotiating for a Strix. Um, Corbin Lovins has his own battle song called the Strix, which well, you'll see later because I didn't end up keeping it. But the Prince Customs SYN is a battle song that I had never heard of before. It is a gorgeous ano, but the bottom of the handles were really uncomfortable. Like if you can see here, it's a really, really deep groove. Made Z chokers really uncomfortable. Oopsie, sorry. Oh no, what did I do? Oh, okay, we're good. Ah, shit. Okay, well, unfortunately, I gotta go through everything. Oh no, I don't actually. Um, anyways, the the Prince I barely had. It had cage ceramic bearings, which were interesting, but I didn't really get that much time to flip it. So alas, I don't really have too much of a strong opinion. But what limited time I had was, it was limited. The rye work. Let's see if clicking here. Okay, good. So yeah, it was beautiful. I just didn't really get a chance to flip it. Um, the Omemes are both bearing battle songs, and they were kind of like the Serpent Striker in that I just didn't really have that much interest in them. I think the 76 flipped better. So the Omeme 1 is a Saux blade, Seax if you want to spell that. Um had a party anno from MCK, number 69, nice. It was interesting and unique. It just I don't know, it just wasn't that remarkable. And the Bowie blade, I want to say felt a little better, but I don't know. I wasn't that interested in them. Maybe it was something else besides Serpent Striker. Okay, so I got a second Titan to do a handle swap. Unfortunately, the handles are matte finish, and the ones that I have are gloss finish, and so I didn't get to do the handle swap that I was hoping to do. Sold this. I think Ted has this now. I lent the one that I do currently own to Ted, and then he ended up buying this one. So this is the Lovins Customs Strix. This was modded by Major Rouse. Has a beautiful Cerakote black. It has a nice green surface. It has a good set of hardware from TrueLink, and it just wasn't that. It wasn't for me. It was beautiful, but I think what did it do really well? I think it fanned really well, but I just found myself not really caring or flipping it, and I was like, this is a pricey Balisong. I might be able to trade up or sell it, and I did trade up. I just don't remember what actually. Oh, the Covenant and the Omeme were very similar to me, and I just found myself not really. They neither were quite distinguishable from each other. They're both bearings, and I don't hate bearings. I actually do like some bearing battle songs, but I found them not very interesting or remarkable in any way, so I sold it. What did I trade the Strix for? Because let me see. The Strix was, ooh, what was it? Because I had it. I think because I got something really cool for the Strix that I ended up. Maybe it was the. Sorry, what was it? Might have been the Chris 51. No, that'll show up later. I don't remember what I traded the Strix for. This was a Proto Arctic. It is only on washers, and it's not good. It's not good. I don't like washers only battle songs. Regular Arctics are much better. I actually only recently parted with this Frankenforge Galvanish. The Chungus is a really wide handle cap. I like this. I actually do like this. It is slightly blade biased. I do like the American Tanto, but then I ended up buying amp, a Frankenforge amp, which is different handle shape, with a Japanese Tanto blade, and that is beautifully neutral. I tried to change the handles for the amp handles. I think I might have been able to do it now with what tools I have, but I couldn't figure out how to change the handles, and I traded this with something else, and I'm waiting for a carbon fiber bass. I do like this though. Oh, the Fox Fi. The Fi was designed by Fiore, made by Fox, and it was a battle song that I was hunting for a while. I love the beautiful minimalistic round handles. I love the blade shape. I love this completely murdered out look. And I was disappointed. This Balisong was like surprisingly heavy. I want to say it was 4.6 or higher, and it just had no tip weight. It was like so handle bias, and because it was handle bias but without tip weight, it was so hard to flip. And this Balisong was razor sharp. Oh my god, I got bit so many times just because it's not a good flipper, and it breaks my heart because I wanted to like it so bad. But this is also one of the things that made me start to go like, I want to try before I buy. It's hard for me to go out on a limb without like trying something first, unless it's a partial trade. Squiddies are bad. Squiddies by themselves are terribly handle biased, have no weight, no tip weight. It's not good. Just get a Squiddy B or a U or an A. This rep had what was it? It was clone blade. So this is a Bally Plus blade. It has clone scales and I think clone spacers, but it did have FFF twin liners. I was hoping that I could possibly swap these out with the FF liners that I had because I think they look cooler. But alas, the hardware just wouldn't cooperate. I ended up selling this for a profit. Come on. Ooh, yes, the Archangel. I want to say that the Archangel I got from the Strix, but I'm not sure. I ended up having two Archangels. You'll see them both. But I ended up trading into the Archangels and then selling them for a pretty penny. And the Archangel, for a Balisong of that era, is honestly, in my opinion, one of the best. It is a lot better than a Benchmade 42. It's really beautifully balanced. It obviously has some tolerance issues because it is not on bushings or washer. It might be on washers. I don't remember. But yeah, unless I was like, this is worth too much money for me to keep, so I sold it. I'm still trying to find what I traded that Strix for. This is a rare Balisong. It was a Benchmade 51, and it had, I think there were only 3 of these scales ever, and only 2 of them worked. And the Flytanium blade, I think there are only 2 of them ever. So there's only 2 of these specific Chris 51. It was, the other one I think is in Europe or Asia, and it felt like a toy. It was so light and horribly handle biased, and because it's a crisp blade and a live blade, but a very dull live blade, it wasn't very comfortable. Like, you could chaplain on it, but you shouldn't, because it's a live blade still. And so oh yeah, the Archangel was the Strix plus the Omeme. Anyways, yeah, it took a while to move this. I ended up getting an EX11 out of trading this. I wanted to like this. It was a really cool collector's item. It just wasn't fun. This Squid Trainer I got in a bundle, and then I instantly traded it because then I had a Squid Trainer 4 that is a limited edition that was, it had a couple of beatings on it. I still own it. But yeah, this one, it actually, the Squid Trainer V3, the washers one, has a much nicer ring to it. Oh, I really liked this. The Ibis is a tank. I didn't like it at first. It's definitely handle bias, but it does have tip weight. She is a tank. I traded it for the Vixen, which I then traded for the I then traded for the well, I traded with the Vixen with cash for the Phobos that I currently have. Oh, this was really cool. However, excellent tolerances, great blade from Frankenforge, aluminum channel liner, which is nice, or aluminum channel rep. Fuck, aluminum channel spacer. Fuck, it's literally written right there. And it had MC slabs that were just really nice, and the aluminum spacers were good because it didn't add too much weight. However, the groove on the face was not chamfered and therefore was just really uncomfortable for my sensitive skin. Sold it to a friend. This is a nice rep though. Oh, yeah, this is the 2.5. I messed around with the Bowie, and these were speed channel. I think I traded this for the ultralight that I got back. This was a rep made with spare rep parts. Um, I traded this for. Oh, I know. I traded it for the Hybel Menace trainer, which I then sold. Um, these scales are chunky. I think these are the chunky ones, and it had decent liners. They're stock liners. It was decent. It was just chunky. It had really, I don't know if you can see. It had no handle gap at all. I don't think this slapped though. Where are we? Oh, this one I had very temporarily. I bought this for a really, really, really good price, and then I traded it for my um, Carlo, my Haystack Carlo. This was in great condition too. The glider Antarctic V2. I ended up getting a titanium Arctic. Sorry, a titanium Antarctic. This is when people say aluminum slippery, they're talking about how fucking slippery the Antarctic is. Unbelievably slippery. My cats are fighting. Please get along. Oh my god, sons. The Thai GN. The aluminum GN's great. Very neutral. Very light. Very fun. This one was really heavy, handle biased. It, I don't know. It was kind of a beast to flip, and some people like it. It's got a good. Hey, leave them alone. Ugh, my cats. Yeah, unfortunately, this does not maintain its value at all. People were selling this for like half the price, and it still wasn't moving. Managed to sell this for something else, or traded for something. Um, the Menace Trainer is insane because it is the most blade biased battle song I've ever flipped. I don't know what Hybo was thinking because his battle songs are normally very good, but the aluminum trainer for the Menace, it's unflippable. It's insanely blade biased. Um, this was sold for profit, I think, or I traded it. I don't remember. Okay, so the edit and the Cycloid 1.6. The 1.6 I had for a long time. It's spongy and I don't like it. I love the Cycloid HD actually, and I was like not sure how I would feel, but the HD feels fantastic. The 1.6 was weird and it just was spongy. You flip it and it would bounce in a spongy way, and I was like, ugh. And I had Telestro's Proto Edit as well as his Edit Lite, and the Proto Edit was interesting, but I just found myself never choosing it over the Edit Lite. I traded these for a Marcolo G10 Comet, which I then traded for something else. Squidier, same story. Got it, sold it. Another Archangel, I traded. I don't remember how I got this. I traded into it, and then I traded it for 2 knives and some cash. I don't think I have any of those knives either. This slate was one that I love. I still have a slate now. I ended up getting a different slate because I missed this one. But I traded this for cash for a OSP Matrix, a very rare one. Only 8 of them exist. It has a Doyle blade. This was an EX11 that I got. I basically had handles that were anodized. And then I got an EX11 trainer and I swapped the blades. It also had the worst fucking acid wash on it, so Blocks fixed that. I swapped the anodized handles for raw handles and I sold this to Hugo, I think. Or I traded to Hugo. This was really cool. It's a beautiful handmade knife. It is terrifying. It's sharp. It is a blade that you need to keep oiled. And it's made of brass, and I sold it to Old School Balisong, who adores it, and I'm really happy about that because it's a really cool knife. Um, yeah, SR knives are a handmade knife. This is also the Balisong that I traded. That the previous one, the Knuckle Duster, and this PT8 are both Balisongs that I got from the Archangel as well as some cash. This was gorgeous. I ended up trading this for the Titanium Shi, which was a knife that I could not move for a long time. But now I have the custom Doucette Karambit, which I'm really happy with. The G10 Comet is fine. It's fine. I prefer the Trident. Also, this ruler is wrong. Hilariously, this ruler is not even correct, so I don't know what the fuck is up with that. It's kind of blocky. I prefer the Trident, but it is cheaper than the Trident, and it's definitely cheaper than the Nautilus, but I don't think it competes with either. The Vixen is the heaviest LDY Balisong. It's it's good, but I wasn't that attached to it. It had this really cool Damascus handles, and I traded this plus cash for the Phobos that I have now that I love and adore. This Turbid I sold to Remshi. I ended up getting another Turbid. This is a titanium Chanwich Turbid, and the Turbid I have now is purple. This Arctic, yeah, this is just a much better Arctic, but I sold this in a big bundle to Dasuko, um, including this and the Peony and something. Ooh, so the solo is quite good. However, it literally, while it looks very different, the Hades by Toa is very, 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 very similar to the solo in how it flips and how it feels in the hand. The weight is, I think, a 0.02 ounce difference. So if you like how the solo flips, but you can't afford it, get a Toa Hades. It's half the price. The solo it's an interesting blade. Kind of makes me think of a butter knife. I don't know. It's a good knife. It just is expensive, so I sold it for a lot of money. This I mildly regret trading this. I had a bushings modded Springer Latch Benchmade 42. It wasn't really sparking joy in flipping. I kind of wish I still had it as my collection. I traded it for a really nice goose. I did know going into it that the goose was going to not maintain nearly as much value. And unfortunately, despite it having bushings, it just had horrible like tap and play still. However, the guy I sold it to managed to figure out what was wrong. I think there was just like one bump, and he fixed it, and now it's much better tolerances. So I'm really happy for him. I do kind of miss it, but I know I would not have solved that problem by myself. This one I got for a really good price, and then I traded it for the Blano mirror polish Slight that I have to replace the Slight that I sold earlier. I have a green. I had a green live bamboo. No, sorry. I had a gold live blade bamboo, which has this interesting razor profile. And then I bought a green trainer. I handle swapped it. The gold handles had a little bit of beating on it, and I sold the live blade version to Dasuko, who loves this. I have the trainer version, which I very much enjoy. It is really inexpensive, so I would say the one bamboo is pretty solid. It's blade biased, but it fans really beautifully. This Relon, there are only 4 Relon. This is one of 2 prototypes. The Relon was interesting. It handle slapped though. At least the 2 prototypes did. So I sold this to someone. I was glad to have tried it, but alas, it has a party Anna from MCK, I believe. This one was really, really cheap. I don't remember what I traded for it, but I got a really good deal. Terrible tolerances like any Atropos knife, but it was really fun, and I sold it for a decent thing. Oh, this was a Cerakote Orion comb. Traded it for a Tachyon 3 beater. Really happy with it. Yeah, Orions are great. So I think the guy I traded it to was really happy with it. It was also Max, actually. The Haystack Raindrop Devil, I heard Hassett sold me it for an insane deal because it was my birthday and he was really trying to move this. It was really cool, but oh my god, that kukri was terrifying. It had an insane tip hot spot in the weight as well as ass weight, and it was relatively lighter throughout everywhere else. Really, really spooky. I traded it for a Basilisk Elite with a black blade in pretty mint condition, and he had a cash to it. Then I trade that, which I'll get to. Ooh, this Jimpy Sentinel I traded with said Bass Elite for a Phobos, and then I ended up having 3 Phoboses, so I sold that. Jimpy Sentinel, really fun. I'm waiting on blocks to finish up fixing the Sentinel trainer blade, but for some reason the dimensions with the pins were incorrect on Jimpy's website. So Blocks has to fix it, and so it's just been waiting forever. So I bought, some scrap handles that Jimpy ran out of. So yeah, we'll see if when the trainer gets done, because I am still waiting for it, because I actually really enjoyed the Sentinel. I hope that the trainer's not too handle biased. The Basilisk Elite was pretty fun. It had zippy spacers, really nice, great condition. The iBass I prefer. I am getting a carbon fiber bass, and the Basilisk Elite. I do like basilisks. I just keep trading them. But I traded this plus the Jimpy Sentinel for a Phobos. Come on, forward. Oh man, I had this Tally Z for so long, and then I bought a blue Tally Z with a crisp blade from Balisong Bear. So then I ended up trading. I was trying to sell this for so long, but no one wants to buy a Tally Z. Sold it, traded for a Nautilus, Winter V2 Nautilus. Great knife. It is slightly more handle biased than the Phobos Horizon and the other Phobos that I had. I am currently selling this. I still technically have it, but I don't own it anymore. It is being paid off. The Phobos Horizon, I am trading up with cash for a Ryeworks GA, which hopefully will arrive soonish. I was so torn between the Phobos Horizon um, and the Phobos 27. I don't know. I don't remember the number, but they were both really good. They were slightly different, but I figured I should sell one to pay for the other Phobos as well as a Thistle that I bought. And then I added more cash and I traded for a GA. We'll see if I keep the GA. Or maybe I'll trade that for an Idolo if possible. And there should be one more knife. Oh, and here's the rare titanium sheath that I was trying to move for so long because it just hurt my hands. Not just because the blade was so sharp, but because the surf. I don't know if you can see the texture on the like on the jimping up here is was really uncomfortable. It was really rough on my hands. I have very sensitive skin. It was a cool knife. It was rare and interesting, and I just it just kind of was like rough on my skin, and I liked flipping it. Holy shit, this it was beautiful, just unbelievably sharp, and just not very fun for my rough hands. And I traded that for the Doucet custom Karambit that I am so happy to own, and maybe I'll sell. But anyways, this video is much longer than I thought. I will eventually make a video on my entire collection. So, thanks for tuning in, and Happy New Year. Those are all of the battle songs that I had in 2023 but no longer have. And I still have a bunch of battle songs, so eventually I'm going to make a video about my entire collection. Unfortunately, there are a couple knives that are still not back from modding, and I was hoping to get those knives back before I can make that full video, but I'm just going to have to say what I will have to say when I get it. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions about the battle songs that I went through, feel free to ask me. You can DM me here. You can comment on my video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, and happy flipping, everyone. And have a wonderful rest of your 2023. And may you have a great 2024. Peace out.